Hello and welcome to the 10 Rules for Writing Numerals and Numbers by KJ Language Services. Sometimes it can be confusing to know how to correctly write numbers. For example, when do you use digits, such as the figures 1, 2, 3, etc., and when do you use words, such as the letters? Firstly, we should look at the difference between numerals and numbers. It's pretty simple, really. A number is a non-figurative concept, while a numeral is a symbol that is used to express that concept, as you can see in the examples here of symbols or numbers. It's essential that you always spell out small numbers. Whole numbers that are smaller than 11 should be spelled out in words. This is a constant rule, especially in more formal writing, such as academic essays. So letters and documents write 9 in letters instead of 9 in figures. Number 3, other than that, there are no constant rules. There's a lot of disagreement among experts about these rules. Some say that any one-word number should always be written out in words. Others say that two-word numbers should be written out in figures. So you write 11 or 90 in letters, but 23 in figures. Use of the comma. In English, the comma is used to separate the thousands from the hundreds and tens. This is to make larger numbers easier to read. A full stop is used as the decimal point, but in continental Europe, the opposite is the case, whereby full stops are used to separate whole large numbers, and the comma is used as the decimal point. Number 5, never start a sentence with a numeral. You should never begin a sentence with a numeral such as 4 men went to sea. It should be written out in letters. 4 men went to sea. For large numbers, this might be difficult. Probably best to rewrite the sentence so the numeral's not the first word. Number 6, always spell out centuries and decades, unless stated otherwise. Use 20th century or the 90s, written out in letters, unless the type of document you are writing stipulates that you can write 19th century or 1990s in figures instead. Number 7, when you have two numbers next to each other. This can be confusing and a little bit difficult to read. For example, 110-year-olds. So it's far better to write one of them as a numeral. 110-year-olds. Choose the number that has the fewest letters. Recipes and percentages. Here you can use digits, such as 17% of women prefer to men, or add 3 cups of flour. However, in more formal writing, you may prefer to spell out the percentage sign and say 17% written out in letters. Number 9, rounded numbers or estimates. Any rounded numbers over 1 million are written out as a numeral. Approximately 900 million people are learning English. This is certainly easier to read than writing it out in figures. However, if you are writing an exact number, you must write it out in full. So lastly, number 10, ordinal numbers. We often use ordinal numbers for dates or competitions, as in the 1st of May, she came second in the race, and so on. In dates, you can write the number out as a figure, as in the 2nd of June, but you would never write, it was my first job. Instead, it is correct to write first out in full in letters. So remember, it's important to be consistent in your writing when using numbers. So bear this in mind, as otherwise your work can seem unprofessional and difficult to understand. So that's it from KJ Language Services, the key to your English language needs. We offer proofreading, editing and writing services for anyone who uses English as their second language, whether you're a business, individual or student. So check out the website www.kjlanguageservices.com.